I tested all of the best webcams of 2026, and in this video, I am going to rank them in a tier list based on their value for money, overall performance, and more. Links to all of the products will be in the description below. Logitech MX Brio. This pushes clean 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60 frames per second with sharp glass optics and autofocus that keeps your face tack sharp even if you lean in or move around a bit. Dynamic range and noise handling are solid for calls and streaming, and the dual beam-forming microphones with noise reduction are fine for meetings, but still no replacement for a real mic if you care about audio quality. With multiple fields of view and USB-C plus broad platform support, I see this as a killer option for creators and professionals who want a polished look without going full mirrorless, so I'm confidently dropping it into my great tier. Obsbot Meet 2. This gives you crisp 4K at 30 frames per second or 1080p at 60 frames per second on a big half-inch sensor, so detail and low-light performance are way ahead of basic 1080p office cams. You get smooth AI tracking, beauty filters, and flexible software controls in a tiny, magnetically covered body. But the dual microphones and noise canceling are just average, so serious streamers will still want an external mic. For anyone who wants a compact, creator-friendly 4K cam with smart framing and a nice balance in price and performance, I'm very happy slotting this straight into my great tier. Dell Pro Webcam WB5023. This delivers sharp 2K resolution with a Sony Starvis sensor and fast f.2 lens, so you get natural colors, strong contrast, and surprisingly good low-light performance for those late-night calls or streams. HDR and AI auto-framing handle nasty backlighting well, but autofocus could be snappier, and the mounting clip isn't the most flexible, even though you do get a tripod thread and a magnetic privacy cover for more serious setups. For people who care more about looking clean and consistent in any lighting than chasing full 4K specs, I think this comfortably earns a spot in my good tier. Elgato Facecam Neo. This focuses on clean 1080p at 60 frames per second with a sharp, natural look, and it plugs right into the wider Elgato ecosystem, so it's a nice fit if you're already using their capture cards, lights, or software. It's truly plug-and-play with strong software controls, but low-light performance is only decent, and some users report the software can be a bit buggy or slow, so serious streamers will still want good lighting and patience for occasional quirks. For gamers, podcasters, and work-from-home folks who want a smooth 1080p upgrade over a laptop cam without going all in on 4K, I'm placing this solidly in my average tier. NexiGo N980p. This pushes 1080p at 60 frames per second with very smooth motion, digital zoom up to 10x, autofocus, and AI auto-tracking, which makes it feel surprisingly pro for the price, especially for streamers and online teachers who move around a bit. Dual omnidirectional noise-canceling microphones and smart color adjustment give you usable audio in a clean image, but it's still not on the same level as higher-end sensors, so you'll want decent lighting and probably a dedicated mic if you're doing serious content. For budget-minded creators or remote workers who want a feature-packed 60 frames per second webcam without spending too much, I'm comfortably putting this in my average tier. This gives me clean 1080p at 60 FPS with a sharp glass lens and a 78-degree field of view, so motion looks smooth and framing feels natural for streaming or Zoom. Dual noise reduction mics are fine for casual calls, but they pick up more background noise than I'd like, and the fixed USB-C cable plus lack of a privacy shutter make it less flexible if you move setups a lot. For creators who want smooth full HD and don't care about 4K or fancy AI tricks, I'd park this in the average tier for me. Obsbot Tiny 3. This absolutely nails image quality with a massive 1.128-inch 4K sensor, 4K video plus 1080p at up to 120 FPS, and low light performance that just crushes typical webcams in dark rooms. The AI Tracking 2.0 on the gimbal keeps me perfectly framed when I stand up, move around, or present, and the spatial audio mic array with multiple modes makes my voice sound rich and clear, even in noisy environments, though the feature set can feel overkill if you just need simple Teams calls. For streamers, presenters, and hybrid workers who want that almost mirrorless camera look without dealing with a real camera, I'm confidently dropping this straight into God tier. Razer Kiyo V2. This is all about flexibility. It can do 4K at 30 FPS or 1080p at 60 FPS on a Sony Starvis sensor, so you can choose sharp detail or super smooth motion depending on your content. Low light performance is solid, and the autofocus is generally quick, but it can hunt and get a bit temperamental in tricky lighting. and the built-in mic is usable, yet not something I'd rely on for serious streaming audio. If you're a gamer or streamer who cares more about frame rate and sharpness than built-in mic quality, I'd personally slot this into the good tier. Logitech C920. This is the classic, does everything pretty well 1080p webcam with a glass lens, 78-degree field of view, and smooth autofocus that still makes basic calls and recordings look clean today. It has stereo mics with noise reduction and automatic light correction that keeps you visible in dim rooms. But there's no high frame rate mode, no HDR, and the audio and overall look just feel dated next to newer 4K and AI-driven options. For office calls, students, or secondary setups, it still makes sense, but for a best-of list in 2026, I'm putting it down in my average tier. Logitech Brio 500. This brings a more modern package with 1080p at 30 FPS or 720p at 60 FPS, a 4-megapixel sensor, HDR, and adjustable fields of view up to 90 degrees, so I can go from tight talking head framing to a wider shot of my desk. The beam-forming dual mics do a nicer job isolating my voice than older Logitech cams, and the built-in privacy shutter and USB-C plug-and-play make it super practical for hybrid work, though I do wish it offered 1080p at 60 FPS for streamers. For people who mostly live in Zoom, Teams, and Google Meet, but still want to look a notch above the default laptop cam, I'm comfortably placing this in the good tier. Elgato Facecam MK2. This delivers really clean 1080p at 60 FPS with sharp detail and that smooth TV-like motion that makes streams and Zoom calls look a lot more professional, especially when you start tweaking it in Elgato's software to dial in your look. It's missing a built-in mic and definitely wants decent lighting, plus HDR and some of the AI tricks feel a bit overhyped, so I see it more for streamers and creators who already have a mic and light and just want a reliable, tweakable facecam. For me, that balance of image quality, software control, and price comfortably lands it in the good tier. Insta360 Link leans hard into smart autofocus and AI, locking onto your face or whatever you're showing to the camera super quickly, which is awesome if you're doing unboxings, tutorials, or anything where your hands are always moving. Low light performance is fine, but not mind-blowing, and you'll still want some lighting to get the most out of the HDR and dynamic range. So I see it as a sweet spot for creators who want a clever 4K AI webcam without paying absolute top dollar. With that mix of performance and more approachable pricing, I'm putting this firmly in the great tier. Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra. This is the go stupid with image quality webcam. With a big sensor, real background blur, and sharp 4K that honestly makes it feel closer to a mirrorless camera than a typical webcam when you've got your lighting right. It is pricey, the mic is just okay, and the narrow focus plane plus Windows-only Synapse tuning means it's clearly aimed at serious streamers and content creators who care more about looking cinematic than about plug-and-play convenience. Because of that insane image quality and creator-first feature set, this one is absolutely going into my god tier. Obsbot Tiny 2 Lite. This brings a ton of premium features down to a more reasonable price, with sharp 4K, a surprisingly good sensor, and that trademark Obsbot face tracking and gesture control that lets the camera follow you around or snap to presets without touching anything. It does struggle more in harsh, low light, and the gesture controls can be a bit fussy, so I'd recommend it to people who present, teach, or move around on camera and can give it at least decent lighting, rather than someone who always sits in a dark room. For the image quality and tracking you're getting at this price, I'm confidently putting it in the great tier. Insta360 Link 2. This feels like a do-everything 4K webcam with a gimbal that physically tracks you, very clean video, HDR, and some of the best built-in mic audio you'll find on a webcam, which makes it killer for meetings, hybrid work, and content creation without needing a full studio setup. The trade-off is that all this intelligence and hardware does push the price up, so it's really for people who care about staying perfectly framed, walking around while presenting, or just wanting one cam that nails both video and audio. With that versatility and polished experience, I'm putting this solidly in the great tier. This delivers 1080p at 30 FPS with HDR, auto exposure, and auto white balance, so it handles mixed office lighting pretty well, but the image still looks more decent than amazing. The 78-degree field of view is wide enough for small group calls, and the team certification is nice for work setups, but the image quality and features lag behind a lot of similarly priced competitors, so I'm dropping this into average tier. Anker PowerConf C200.
This punches way above its weight with a sharp 2K image that has noticeably more detail than typical budget 1080p webcams, especially once you give it decent lighting. There is some visible noise and grain when there's motion, but the adjustable field of view, 65 degrees, 78 degrees, 95 degrees, AI-powered autofocus and built-in privacy cover make it an awesome pick for remote workers and casual streamers, so I'm comfortably putting this in good tier.
Elgato Facecam Pro. This is the beast you grab when you really care about how you look on camera. With 4K at 60 FPS, a big Sony sensor, and excellent low-light performance that makes everything look crisp and smooth. Sharp autofocus, strong face tracking, powerful tuning software, and a wide field of view make it perfect for streamers and serious content creators, even if the body is chunky and the price is high. So I'm locking this in at God tier. Obsbot Meet SE. This brings AI smarts to a compact 1080p webcam with auto-framing that can track you in group, close-up, or single body modes, and even respond to gesture controls. The stacked CMOS sensor, staggered HDR, and high frame rates up to 1080p 100 FPS, plus a noise-reducing built-in mic make it a killer option for dynamic presenters and streamers on a budget. So I'm rating this as good tier. NexiGo HelloCam Pro. This one targets office and meeting room users more than hardcore streamers, focusing on clear 1080p conferencing with business-oriented features rather than bleeding-edge image quality. It does the job for everyday calls, but doesn't really stand out in sharpness, low-light performance, or creator tools compared with today's stronger mid-range webcams. So I'm placing this in average tier. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped you pick the best webcams for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment below. Links to all of these products mentioned in this video will be in the description.